Lord, we want to thank you for this occasion. We want to thank you for the men and women who are gathered here to just discuss and to learn about this new thing that is bringing not just Africa together, but the world together with the brains of Africa. We thank you for David. We thank you for the men and women that work with him in the US. We know there are quite a number of Kenyans and other Africans that are working with him over there to make this thing going. Lord, bless them. Lord, bless us. Even this evening, help each one of us to make a new friend. Help each one of us to look at this thing objectively and encourage and push it forward so that even from here, we can make the world a better place to live. We thank you, we praise you, we worship you, because we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Linking communities using smart technology. That would be the agenda for today.
So let me give you a very basic background with how this all started, and then we'll work through that. In the United States, where I have been for almost, I'm almost a quarter century now, almost. That's quite some time. I can, Kabi, when I had you a young girl, now you're a young woman, right? What we found out is that if we reached out to different people with different skills, and we got together and asked, what can we do to make our societies better? How can we improve service? How can we link people? It's through sharing the skills we have. So we started out by creating an IT format, which we call GrowBeaver, and we'll hear more about it. And the whole idea then was then to get this team of friends to embark on an ambitious journey to develop things that will make things easier. And this is probably looking ahead 10, 20, 15 years coming the road. It's going to become a commonplace. Some people probably it's not at the moment, but it will become a commonplace. So we started out there, and we got people from different backgrounds. We have 4 or so of our directors are here, and actually I'd like you to stand up in Kenya. We have never met before, okay? And then in the United States, there is also another 4 of us. We basically said, using our own savings, our own money that we have, we are going to venture into this idea of creating this company. And without looking for any funds from other sources, we'll put our own money into developing something, because once people see what it is, then it's easier to grow the system. So together we started the process, and we established GrowBeaver as a company, which is registered here in Kenya. That's where it's up. It has its offices. So you can sit down. And each of them have different experiences and in many ways. Then, I would like now to turn a little bit back to Global Connections Kenya. Many of you know that I do teach in high school and also some college in the United States. I started a number of years a program where I bring American students to Kenya. And the way it started, it was a very basic thing. I was teaching a classroom. I was teaching biology, and we talk about malaria. We talk how it affects people. The students wanted to know more. And I said, you can come and visit Kenya, and you can maybe do something. So we started a very simple thing from the classroom of saying, let's connect ourselves with the Kenyans. So a program beyond the classroom. Okay? When the students came here, they were fascinated. They were impressed. They met people that really also cared, despite the fact that they have very challenging life circumstances. From that moment, when the students went back, they started telling their parents and their community that all the information we know about Kenya is false. It's not true. You are misleading us. Kenyans are very open-minded people. They are very innovative. They are willing to do a lot of things. We would like to do more. And of course, the next year, more students signed up. And many of you are aware, then I started bringing more students coming here. And it has become extremely powerful program where I am. And at one point, we even founded a non-profit organization that have done a lot of projects. Those people are in KCC understand what it has done and the impact it has had. Now, moving further, it reached a point to say then, how can we take this very successful program and replicate it in other parts of Kenya. You start from one community, you replicate it to other places. You cannot have something happening in one place. If you don't have people in another place enjoying it, it becomes a problem. So we came up with the idea of the Global Connection Center. And that idea will then provide linkage to all other communities, both in different counties. So our plan is that in 2020, the Global Connection Center will open up, but it becomes a place that every place in Kenya will start getting a template on how to create a very simple, effective project that can create jobs, can also create link communities.
We are 9 directors in Globiva. I am the CEO. We have different professional and expert level. We have 5 of us in the United States and 4 of us in Kenya here. Now, the thing about Globiva is that it's diverse. So we don't really care whether you are a Kisi or whether you are a Luo or whether you are a Mzungu or whether you're Muindi. All of us, we all came from Kenya, or rather have a Kenyan background. And that kind of made us, think that we should do something about this country. So whenever we come back over here to Kenya, we see something that we can do differently. And that was actually one of the things that made us to come together and say, let's do something that will impact the community. So Globiva is basically a business kind of solution provider, but it actually uses smart technology to try and fix the problems of the society. That is what it does. And one of the apps that you'll see actually will talk a little more about that, and then you'll see how it works.
I think the idea behind this was like to come up with a concept that connects between the community centers, which are going to be rolled out across, the country. And the thing is, we wanted to come up with a solution that provides services that connects people, and these are smart technologies. Yeah. So this was one of the first projects that we started with. It's called Barabara, and the aim is like to interconnect, between service providers and service seekers. Because I remember, like the first time I bought my first car, because the first car, sometimes you check on the cost and stuff like that, and then during that time, you find that the car sometimes it could break down and without any notice. So, and based on that, and I think most ladies can attest, sometimes your car just fails and you don't know who to approach. And basically, that's why we came up with this brilliant innovation. So the idea behind it is like, this is the solution. Between 2 taps of a button, you are able to get a solution, get serviced, or even at the comfort of your house. Let's say, for example, you don't want to go out and move out there. You are able to request for a service, and someone is able to come and fix your car at the comfort of your home. And basically, also, alongside that, on the road network, while you're moving, you can be able to request like towing services. As you can see, we have ambulance, we have lockout, and petrol stations. You are able to see the nearest petrol station that is around you, maybe check on the prices, and you're able to compare and get the best rate maybe. So it's to promote convenience and also just to interconnect. So what I'm going to take you through is I'm going to show you a video that can give you a brief description of what it's all about, so that you can get the bigger picture out of it. So as you can see, that's how the app functions. So it's a brilliant app and it's easy to access. You can get it through the Android or iOS stores. So, and it's free, but you only utilize and pay for a service once you receive or once you get the support that you need. So you can always enjoy, you can download. We'll give you some pamphlets that you can use, and I hope you'll enjoy the convenience. Thank you so much.
So since 2007, there has been almost 150 American students who have come to the United States through this program. And what we project to happen in the next few years is that this is even going to grow further. But if we keep it only that way, then it becomes a one-way. we don't become Americans coming to Kenya. That makes no sense. So what we are embarking on doing now, we want to do what we call a two-way exchange. A two-way exchange basically means you are going to encourage and allow our young people, adults as well, to have a program where they can also be able to be in the United States for the same amount of time that the American students are here. That becomes a true exchange. We know that there are some challenges from the Kenyan side, economically, unlike the Americans. So what we would like to do is to start getting businesses, banks from Kenya, who can avail some money and funds to provide what we call the cost of flying the students to America. Once they are in America, we take care of them. That should be our responsibility. We are also seeking partnership through the Ministry of Education to create a formal program that will make it possible for that to happen. We have also started working actively with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In fact, in the United States, the Kenya Embassy is actively involved with us. The ambassador has come to my school several times, okay, in the United States. So what we are talking about is a program that is going to provide opportunities for Kenyan students to experience America for a short period of time. But America is an idea. America is not a place. America can be here. It is founded on the idea that everyone, no matter how limited you have in terms of resources, if you are given the right opportunities, the right motivations, you can succeed. So the resources exist in Kenya. So America doesn't have to be a place. It can be in your own village if the right things are in place. The visits only are going to expose people. Because when you get exposed, when you go to a place, you start to ask the question, why am I living like this? Is this fair for me to be like this when somebody else is living well? None of us chose to be born where we were born. You did not choose to be born in the village where you are. Unfortunately, some of us are stuck with the idea that because I was born in Akisi, the Kisi has to define me. Or because I was born at Kikuyu, a Kikuyu has to define me. That doesn't need to be. There's nothing wrong to be that. So if you get exposed, you realize that those things are important, but they are not going to hinder you from reaching your goals. So what we are doing then with this program, we want to create a place right here in the village where if I close your eyes and drop you in at night, you will momentarily feel you're in America. Okay? That's what we're trying to do. Why is that important? It begins to let you realize that all these things are possible right here. We will also provide you an opportunity to actually have the Americans themselves also right here in the same place. So when you go also there, it becomes much easier. So what you're looking right here, if you can see from wherever you are, and by the way, I want to announce that this prototype has been done by the students in our architecture class and high school student group that came up with this dream. It's quite a dream, but it's going to be a reality in 2020. And we are projecting, and we'll make it happen by July 30th, 2020, a day like this. That's why this is very significant, okay? There are about 1,101 days left from now. Okay, and I'll tell you how we can arrive there. So what you're looking at there, if you get a chance, and this has really taken a very actual presentation of where we are. So what you're looking at is the home where I was born. That is the land that I was given by my parents. And my elder brother Nelson is here. We had a meeting recently. I live in America. My children were born in America. I am an American and a Kenyan, right? They say a Kenyan American. So we have an advantage, right? I can be both. This is another reality that this is going to be completely different from what you're used to. And I want you to start realizing that. The land I was given in Kisi, as much as I want to use it and live it and do whatever I can, if I do not do anything about it, a few years from now, I will not be standing here. That's the reality of life too. I'm not going to live forever. Neither none of you will be. All right? So I can choose to do nothing about it and let it be there and continue to glorify as the land that was given to me, or use the knowledge and resources available to us to open up as a place that links to communities. I've made the choice to do that, to do the second one, to make it a place that is going to link United States and Kenya, and a place that every Kenyan, if you came in, it's in Nanjanori. When you come there, I want it to be a place where you do not feel that you are a tribe, a person that belongs to one tribe. You are a person that belongs, you are a human being, where you can link with Americans and with Kenyans and feel at home. All right? So what we've done in the design, if you look at very well, and it's going to be quite complex with all modern technologies in it. There will be a place where on the east wing, you'll be completely feel at Kenya. On the west wing, you will feel completely in America. All right? And we'll engage American experts to do that. We'll engage Kenyan experts to do that for the east wing. On the center piece is where you are all able to meet and have all these wonderful technologies and resources shared there. And we are also planning to include there also training centers, leadership that also grows for communities, politicians, educators, teachers, everyone will all be included there. We will also link you with very high-level universities virtually. So if you want to get access to certain information that's now available freely, you don't have to pay a single cent to get that knowledge. That opportunity will be available there as well. That is what we have in a vision. We are also going to create a park, a nature park, so that it also simulates what it means when we take our conservation and energy and our art together. That is all included as well. And the land is pretty substantial to do all those things at the same time. Here's the other thing. When it's fully completed, it should create at least 75 to 100 good jobs. All right? Change up the communities. Okay? So this morning we had a conversation with a representative from one of the banks here, local banks here who is interested, and we'll be having more conversation with other banks as well. But the whole point is that by creating something like that, then we'll start replicating this in different counties. All right? So you start one place, all right? It allows people to become able to reach it, and then we replicate it in other counties. Here's what I can tell you. Once a good thing is done and it is successful, people will pick it up. Okay? Initially, they are going to be skeptical. People are going to be very skeptical. People are going to ask, how is it possible? The other thing, we want to change the mindset. The Americans, I'm one of them, I said before, because I become by naturalization, aren't different from any one of us. They work very hard. In fact, I think I would be more happy to be here in Kenya working here than there in terms of life. You know Mzee, right? Life moves very fast. People are always running, trying to get things done. And some of you have been to the United States, so I'm not going to make an assumption that you do not know. All right? But the point I'm making is that by creating these models right here within ourselves, we will then start changing the mindsets. The other piece that this will focus on is we would like, let's say this is in Nyamira County. We want then the county from Nyamira can link to another county in Kiambu. You are linking two communities based on programs that you have, based on what students can do at the same time. So that is a projection of what is going to happen. So the question people have is, and I gave a very powerful speech in Kisi, the students told me that a few days ago, is how do we build this then? Here's the concept we have done. And I want you to take your mind away from, there's a number of us who think that money is coming from donors, sponsors. People are so much, I think we need to change people's mind. That there is somebody out there who is giving money to somebody to do something. That's a wrong concept. It is going to destroy us if we think like that. The right concept is this. Whatever resources we have, we put it together with other people. So how do we fund this? So in the US, I was thinking about that, and I came up with an interesting idea. We call it pillars. I think there's a word in Swahili for a pillar, something that makes things to stand. That's a pillar, right? That's what the main things you need. So we started out by creating what we call 33 pillars in the United States you become a pillar. You become an investor. Maybe that's what you want to use here in the US.
Have you linked your service to all these service providers? Like, for instance, if I'm stuck in Magadi, have you linked Barabara to, say, the nearest petrol station in Magadi, so that when I'm on the app and I'm requesting a service, that petrol station in Magadi is the one that's going to respond, or how does it work?
What we are doing right now, or what we have currently, is a test. You're already on a test, kind of a user test version of the app, which means it's available up there for all of us to test drive it. And we have to realize that we are focusing more on the agile way of doing things. We have already a solution, but then we have to expose it to our community to really find out if there is anything else that we need to enhance. So basically, it goes on to a test drive, and then we get the feedback, then we enhance it, and then based on the enhancement, we keep on improving it. We do expect actually to roll it out fully by November, but right now it's available for anybody who wants to use as a test drive.
Maybe to add on that, the application, what we are doing, we are partnering with, we are going to do a business-to-business partnership with guys who are already existing. So like, for example, if it's ambulances, let's say, for example, companies like AAR, you know, and maybe we have like so many other companies that also provide the same services, like towing services. So we are going to do a partnership, and with that, you see they're already on the ground and scaled out. So for business to business, we don't have to recruit from the scratch, but you have to just bring in there guys who are working under them. And then now we work with the partners that they already have and the service seekers who are already there.
A person like me who travels around in the whole of Kenya. Suppose I have a breakdown somewhere, maybe I'm going to Eldoret, I'm in Hills, and Hills is just a forest. What measures have you put up in terms of security, that the hub is a keyword, that whoever is coming is not a tagger or someone has not tampered with the app that is tracking me? You know, what are the measures that you are putting in place?
Somebody that comes to assist you is not a thug, or is not somebody who's a thief, or somebody who wants to waylay you, or steal away from you. Basically, what we do is we have what we call service providers, and the service providers, we identify them. We do some kind of vetting, which means we do a background check before we allow them into our system. And there's a lot of stages to do in security kind of environment. You go through a background check, you have their identity, they take pictures, and the app allows you to actually see the person when the person is coming, be able to identify who he is, and there is no way we will allow the person to be in our app, for example, if they are not identified. So that is the precautions we are taking. Now, the other part that I want to answer is that we'll start with Nairobi area, as our first kind of rollout. And we know that internet is a technology that is growing. I'm very sure coming 1 year or 2 years time, most of the internet will have very much improved in Kenya. And therefore, I do expect to have a lot of accessibility to some of the places you're talking about.
The various OS systems that the application can run on.
Yeah, that's very true. We do have it already on from the iTunes, and if you have an Android phone, you can go get it from the Google Store. So yeah, that is covered very well.
Now, asking about the second one, about that global center you've given the Kenyan people for 4 slots of pillars. How will the pillars come in? When will the pillars come in?
In Kisii, I have not counted, but I was given an envelope that was filled up with people showing they're interested. I have not counted how many there are to get there. What I'm trying to say right now, it is very possible at this point to say that there's going to be a lot more people signing up once you understand what it is. That means we have then to sit back and then say, how do we pick up the 44 to move on the phase? Like, are they really committed? we have to set some guidelines. The US one was very easy. There were some guidelines, there were deadlines, all right? We give people deadlines, you have to do this and you have to do this, and there were certain things. And so those ones I've done very easily. And in Kenya, because the center will be here, there should be more interest, all right? There's actually much more interest as opposed to an American who is being a peer in Kenya, where probably will come only once a year to see it. So your question, therefore, is there's information. You just write your name, email, phone number, and then it will be a follow-up. I think that's the first step.
I want to just touch on the global connections, because that is one thing that really resonates quite a lot with me. The world is truly flat. Do you have another avenue of getting more collaborators, both corporate and individual, so that whatever it is that you've done, and I see you've done quite a bit of work in the last, is it 10 years? Is it 10 or is it 7? About 10 years. How can you be able to hasten this step so that we don't, much as 2020, we are praying it comes, are there other ways in which you could probably get other individuals or other organizations that could work together with you both in the United States and in Kenya to try and speed up this kind of thing? Because especially now as we see, this is what Kenya needs. We need to think outside the box and have solutions that can really get people to realize that there's enough for everybody and we don't need to be fighting.
That's a very good question, and even from the premise in which the question is asked, it tells me that there is a willingness to engage. There's a willingness to start getting this idea up. That, for me, that is really where it's the starting point. So what I will respond to you is this. Yes, there is a way we can start making these connections happening and allowing any other organization that is interested to run this. So let me give you a very basic example of how this works. So for me, to get this set up in the United States, and to have it probably have the link with GCC where I was born, it works first by finding a person in the area where they are. So for example, I don't know which region we are located. Are you in Nairobi? You become the link of that area. I can link you up with a community then in the US, all right? So for example, it is not practical to tell me, for example, to go to Tigani and Meru, where I don't know anybody, to run anything there. You have to have a person on the ground who becomes the link, all right? That's the first phase. So what we need to do here is to create a link. People are who are willing to become like, I want to be a link, all right? And for me in the United States, with the Global Connection Kenya, we start linking you up with different groups, all right? That is really the piece. The other piece I'm addressing in the United States is that, as I have mentioned, I have children in the United States, and they are now called Kenyan Americans. They are not going to be here. There are many of us, like me, who have got their kids like that. So what we are thinking of doing is to start, actually, through this, creating an educational program that will bring them during the summers. So I've started reaching out in people in the diaspora so that they themselves, because they're children now, many of them have completely, they see Kenya as another place. That's the fact. It's not just another place. Once we are away, we're off, we're no longer there, there's a chance that those kids will no longer worry about Kenya as a place. They just have a Kenyan name, but they're absolutely 100% American, and have nothing else to link up here. So what we're trying to do is, through this kind of arrangement, we want that to be a place that will, maybe in the summer, the kids come and do like what we've done with this program. It's very well organized, by the way, if you look at our program. It's 12 days total, and it starts from Nairobi, goes all the way to the west, goes to the east, goes to the coast, in 12 days. But it's very organized. The kids go to schools, they meet people in the village, and they do things that are very extraordinarily different. So we want to do that for the Kenyans. But we would like this to happen then organized by Kenyan teams in different areas. So for example, in another county, there's a person who has an organization. You become linked. We give you the template, and you run your organization there. You have young people there, all involved. When we come, like for example, we was come to your area, you already have a program in place. I come there for 3 days. What do you want us to do? What interactions do you want to have? It's not just showing up, but what we do when we are there. Maybe we want to work on clean water programs for the people in your community. The kids come, they see what you have, and we say, what can we do? Or maybe uniforms. Some kids in Kenya can't afford a uniform, right? So a US kid can say, I can spare my lunch of $10 or $15, and I buy a uniform for a child in Kenya. That changes. It's very easy. So we're going to be targeting very simple things like that. So I would welcome your willingness to engage, and if we can spread this out, then we can maybe start by having a meeting here of Global Connections Kenya branches that are formed.